Suffolk at the moment, and one of my clients actually knocked it out of the park in 2014. Now, this is the actual guy that I was talking about that bought 6 properties in 1 year, right? So, thanks for having me, Paul. We're actually at his house, and we're just here to pick Paul's brain on how he did it, and to show you guys that it's actually possible to do this, okay? It's not as scary as what people think, am I right?
No, absolutely, it's not scary at all. Well, it's a little bit scary, but...
but it gets there in the end, right? 6 properties is a massive achievement. So, yeah, thanks for having me. So I just want to show the viewers how it's possible. What did you actually do?
Well, I had enough money to buy three properties.
Yeah, at the start.
At the start. So
yeah.
One of the things that the course actually taught me was about sourcing the right properties in the right area. The 3 that I bought were actually I bought them for a lot less than what they were their market value was.
Yeah. So they were below market value properties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you always make your money in properties when you buy. I'm a firm believer in that. So yeah, bought those properties.
So guys, what he's saying is actually when you get the key to the property, you've already made money. Okay.
Absolutely.
So we talk about cash flow, buying properties at cash flow from the start. But what Paul's actually also done is bought properties. When he actually gets the key, he's already made what, 20 grand? How much were they?
Yeah, not a bit. I think about 30 grand each house.
Guys, and you bought what, 6 properties in 1 year? I mean, do the maths. That's an amazing achievement, and capitally, that's huge stuff.
Yeah.
So well done. So keep going. Sorry.
Yeah. So so I bought the first 3. Again, they were really good in a really good rental area. Rented out immediately, which is another key as well. So they weren't actually sat around. Had them all let out within I think it was just over a week.
Well,
so
how'd you do that?
Buying in the right area. If you buy in the right area and the demand's there.
So did you go through a real estate agent, or how
I use a letting agent because I've got an area that I actually operate in, so I've got relationships in those areas.
What's that area? We can actually disclose this because you guys are inside the portal, so we're going to give the information away. What actual area did you buy these properties in?
Colchester in Essex.
A great area. Great area. It's an historic area too, isn't it? One of the oldest cities in...
Yeah, I think it's the oldest town in England. It's basically going back to sort of like medieval times. It's got an army barracks there, which has been going up. There's been an army barracks there for hundreds of years. It's very historic. And also in Essex, it's 45 minutes on the train into London. So
well,
again,
that's a plus as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got this ring of London. London is its own entity. I've told you that many times. But if you're an hour away from London, I mean, the property prices are still they're cheaper, but the cash flows are there, and that's the point, isn't it? And that's why we do what we do. As soon as you start getting further north, the cash flow's there, but the capital gains suffers a little bit. So Colchester is in that amazing catchment area. Ipswich is another one, I would assume. Yeah,
Ipswich, Cambridge, any of the sort of Essex towns, really.
Absolutely. Yeah. So you bought the 3, and then what did you do?
Then so I bought the 3. They were going well. Then after
that's 8 months later, isn't it?
Yeah. 8 months later, I was actually able to remortgage. I looked at the values because I always keep track of the values to see how they're actually going on, and it was I hit it at the right time where there was an increase in value. So what I was able to do, and obviously bearing in mind as well, I bought below market value as well.
That's key, guys.
So I didn't actually pull out. I only pulled out the 30 grand I'd actually each property.
Yeah.
That I'd actually I mortgaged them at the rate I bought them. If you see what I mean.
So what he's saying, guys, he pulled out his original seed capital. Yeah. Like I said, pulled it out and then put it into the next 3 deals, and that's how he was able to do it. So technically, the brilliant thing about that is, one, he was able to do that and move forward and buy 3 more. Plus, he had no money in the original deals, but still retained the deals. Okay, that is the point. And I assume the first 3 deals still cash flow, correct?
Yeah, no, they're still cash flowed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So basically, at this point, he's got the dice, he's thrown it, and he's playing Monopoly. This is the point. Okay, so you got 3 more properties. So in total, 8 months later, you purchased 6 in total.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, cash flowing. My cash flowing was my cash flow on each of the properties originally was £300 per month.
On each property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On each, but and then I remortgaged, and I think the remortgage, the remortgage value in terms of the interest. I think I was then paying to buy another 3 properties. Compared to, I think I was paying another £100 per property in cash flow. In mortgage, and then I went and bought some more, which were the same. Pretty much, it was quite frightening actually. They're pretty much the same sort of
cash flow.
Yeah. Again, so again, my cash flow overall was probably up by about £400 on the previous. £400 per month on the previous 3 houses.
So what he's saying, guys, to break it down, is when you buy 3 properties at the start and you go and remortgage that money out, that money's not free. Okay, so he has to pay for the differential of the debt that he's taking out and then putting it into the next property. So his cash flow on the first 3 would have suffered a tiny bit, gone down maybe 50 quid. However, he was able to recapture the cash flow on the next 3 that he bought. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So money's not free. We need to know that. So when you pull money out, it's not free money, and that's the problem in 2008 that people came across. As we know, they thought that money was free, and they went on many holidays around the world, maybe bought a boat, and then when it was time to pay the monthly portion of that debt that they took on, there was no asset to support it. Correct?
Yeah. And incidentally, what I was able to do now, because we're obviously in 2016. Last month I was able to remortgage was able to lock down a deal. I didn't take any more money out of the original 3, and because the interest rates have fallen a bit, and it actually managed to lock it down for 5 years.
Cash flows more?
Yeah, cash flows more. It's gone back to what it was before I took the money out.
Genius. So
effectively 3 houses for free and cash flow.
It's genius. It's genius,
Yeah.
and that's what I love as well. With property as well, time is on our side. That's the name of the game. When we hold for a longer period of time, people hope that things go up. When they do go up, we take advantage of that and lock in better rates. Okay, and that's exactly what Paul just said. Let's assume he was on 4% when he first secured the deal. He's gone for a remortgage and it could have been 3.5. But he's locking these rates in now for about 5 years, kicking the debt down the street for the next 5 years, but he's just secured more cash flow from that scenario. Okay, and we're now in 2016, so he bought these properties in 2014, the 6. So where are you at now? How many properties have you got under your belt? Being 2016. What's today's date?
It's the
March.
April. What day?
Oh, is it? It's April the. I don't know. What is it? April the. Oh, it's about April the 10th. 2016, just so you get a grasp of what he's achieved and where he's at now. So in 2016, how many properties you got under your belt?
10.
Guys, it's possible, you know. So
Definitely.
Moving forward, because you've absolutely smashed it out of the park. What do you want to achieve in the future? Are you going to go for more properties? What's the market telling you?
I am. Yeah, I'm going to go for more properties at the moment. In the UK, one of the things is with property, especially as you know, there's a lot of some people can hype things up and be unrealistic. So you do have to be a little bit careful. You do have to take, you have to keep your eye on the market. So where we are is at the moment, the government have made some tax changes for landlords, but I'm confident with that because I'm hooked into the right knowledge and the right people. So I'm just going to give it another 6 months. I've got some money there ready to go. I'm going to give it another 6 months because there's a lot of people who are going to be exiting the buy-to-let market.
And what does that mean?
And more opportunities. I mean, the values might go down, but I'm in it for the long term. So even if hypothetically my properties went down in value, I'm still going to be cash flowing. But what that then gives me the opportunity is to, I always say where this changes opportunity is to actually, buy some more properties at a lower price.
Yeah.
And then I know that in 5 years' time, things will have already come up. Is one of the things that I learned. One of the big things I learned about on the course is about understanding the property cycle.
Cool. So it's basically the ebbs and flows. Okay, property's not just linear. It doesn't go straight up. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we have to. Obviously, we're subjected to different rules that can come in like that with the government. So we just need to re-strategize our position and
roll with the market.
Yeah, I mean, property's been going on for years, guys. People get rich from property. The reason people suffer with property is because they don't know how to micromanage it. Okay, so they buy properties that don't cash flow, and when they're hit with a different legislation through the government, they freak out and then they sell their properties. But those people that hold on like Paul and they get through that time become absolute millionaires with the portfolios they're building because they get through times. Okay.
With inflation, basically eats at the debt as well. So that is a key thing to always keep in your mind.
Yeah. Okay. So if I put to you in let's say, have you always heard that story of Bill bought 10 years ago that house on the corner, it was worth 100,000 and now it's worth 5. Well, that's exactly what Paul's talking about. Things seem a lot dearer in the future, and when you reflect on what you bought back in the day, it's a lot cheaper. So he's talking about inflation eating debt. So if Paul secured a property at 100,000 10 years ago, and in 20 years from now he's got this massive portfolio that he built back in the day, that 100,000 is going to be quite insignificant. And if Paul took the route of actually saving all the cash flow to pay the debt down as well, that's another strategy, he'd be left with 0 debt in 20 years on all his portfolio, but he might have 2, 3 million, 4 million debt-free of property, but still with the cash flow, correct?
Yeah.
So guys, you've heard it from the absolute king. I'm so proud, super proud. So that's basically Paul, one of our clients that's absolutely blown us out of the water. He's really done a fantastic job, so well done and thanks for having me here. Cheers. See you later.